The garden was silent in the early evening light. Soft golden rays slipped through the leaves. Every path looked calm and harmless. Every breeze felt gentle and warm. Mira walked slowly, breathing in the scent of fresh earth. She loved this place. It always felt safe. It always felt peaceful. Tonight, however, something felt different. The air was heavier, as if the trees were holding a secret, as if the wind was carrying a warning. She stepped onto the narrow stone path. Her shoes tapped softly on the ground. A chill brushed the back of her neck. She stopped. She turned. No one was behind her. A faint ringing sound echoed to her left. It was sharp. It was metallic. It did not belong in a quiet garden. Mira moved closer. Her heartbeat grew louder than her footsteps. The ringing shifted to a low humming sound. The leaves around her trembled without wind. She reached the center of the garden. A small bench stood there. She had sat on it many times before. But now it felt wrong. It felt out of place. As if it had been moved. As if someone had dragged it across the stones. She touched the bench with her fingertips. The wood was warm. Too warm for the evening air. Almost as if someone had just been sitting there. Mira pulled her hand back. Her pulse quickened. Her breath grew shallow. Something shifted in the bushes nearby. She listened. The sound returned. Low. Steady. Almost like breathing. She leaned forward. Her eyes narrowed. The branches twitched. A shadow moved behind them. Slow. Deliberate. Waiting. Mira stepped back. The shadow stepped forward. The peaceful path no longer felt peaceful. The air no longer felt gentle. Something in the garden was watching her. Something she had never seen here before. Her foot touched a cracked stone. She looked down. A deep scratch ran across the path. Fresh. Jagged. It stretched toward the place where the shadow waited. Mira followed the scratch with her eyes. Her stomach twisted. Her hands shook. The scratch marks continued into the darkness beneath the trees. And then she heard it. A voice. Soft. Close. Whispering her name. Mira. Mira froze. The whisper wrapped around her like cold fingers. Her name had never sounded like this before. Slow. Smooth. Almost familiar. Yet she knew no one else was in the garden. She turned her head slowly. The air tightened around her. The bushes were still. The shadow remained hidden. But the whisper did not stop. Mira. The voice came again. Louder this time. Closer this time. She stepped back until her heel pressed against the warm bench. The wood burned through her shoe. She jerked away. Her breath trembled. Her heart felt too heavy in her chest. The path beneath her glimmered faintly. The scratch marks she had noticed moments ago were brighter now. Thin lines of pale light filled the cracks. They pulsed as if something beneath the ground was breathing. As if the stones themselves were alive. Mira crouched slowly. Her fingers hovered above the glowing line. The warmth rising from it felt unnatural. Like heat from a hidden fire. Like life pushing through stone. The whisper returned, louder than the rustling leaves. Mira, you should not be here. She jumped to her feet. Her eyes scanned the trees. Her throat tightened. Her palms grew damp. The garden felt smaller. The air felt heavier. The peaceful paths she loved so much felt like a trap. A soft thud came from behind her. She spun around. The bench had moved. Not by wind. Not by accident. It had turned slightly, facing her. Her legs weakened. A shiver crawled up her spine. She stepped back, but the ground shifted beneath her. The glowing lines crawled across the stones, inching toward her feet. The bushes trembled. Leaves shook without wind. Branches bent inward as if weighed down by something unseen. The shadow behind them grew taller. Wider. Its outline sharper than before. Mira backed away slowly. Her breath caught in her throat. The shadow leaned forward. Its head tilted. It watched her. Not with eyes she could see. But with something deeper. Something ancient. She whispered into the heavy air. Who is there? No answer. Only the sound of the glowing cracks spreading across the path. Stone groaned beneath her shoes. A low rumble rose from the earth. Mira stumbled as the ground vibrated. Her hand brushed a nearby tree trunk. The bark was ice cold. So cold she pulled her hand back instantly. The tree felt dead. Completely dead. Yet its branches moved with slow intention. She turned left. The path there was narrow. The bushes thick, the shadows deeper. She turned right. The path looked clear, but the glowing cracks stretched far into the distance. As if guiding her, as if pushing her, the whisper returned. Mira, do not run. She stepped back instinctively. Her foot hit something soft. She gasped and spun around. A small garden lantern lay on the path. It flickered weakly, its flame pale and trembling. She had not seen it there before. She knew it had not been there before. Mira picked it up with shaking hands. The metal was warm, warmer than it should be. Almost the same heat she had felt on the bench. A breeze pushed against her shoulder. She turned sharply. The shadow moved again. Closer. So close she could hear the soft scrape of its steps. So slow, so deliberate. Her breath turned sharp in her chest. She clutched the lantern tighter. Its weak flame cast a small circle of light around her. The shadow hesitated at the edge of it, as if the tiny flame mattered, as if it feared the light. The whisper echoed again, "Stay on the path." Her heart pounded so hard she felt dizzy. She stepped forward. The light followed her. The glowing cracks brightened. The shadow shifted slightly, but did not disappear. Mira took another step, and another. Her pulse throbbed in her ears. Her vision blurred at the edges. The garden seemed to close in around her. The trees leaned inward. The air trembled with unseen movement. She reached the next turn in the path. Something waited there. Something dark. Something entirely still. Mira raised the lantern. Its flame shook violently. Her fingers tightened around the handle. Her breath halted, because the figure standing at the turn was not a shadow. It was a person, or something shaped like a person. Silent, motionless, watching her with an expression she could not read. And then it stepped forward. The figure took one slow step toward Mira. Its movement was smooth, too smooth, as if it did not carry weight, as if it floated just above the ground. Mira held the lantern higher. The trembling flame revealed more of the figure's face. It looked human, but its eyes did not reflect the light. They were dark, empty, silent. The figure stopped only a few feet away. The air between them felt dense, still, waiting. Mira swallowed hard. Her voice quivered when she spoke. "What do you want?" The figure raised its hand. Slow, gentle, not threatening. It pointed toward the glowing cracks on the path. Mira looked down. The cracks were no longer bright. The glow softened. Their light pulsed like a calm heartbeat. The trembling earth had gone still. She looked back at the figure. It lowered its hand. Its empty eyes softened, not with warmth, but with understanding, as if it had been waiting for her to notice something. A soft breeze moved through the garden. The leaves whispered. The shadows retreated. The trees straightened slowly, as if relieved. The figure stepped back, and another step. Its shape faded slightly, as though dissolving into the dim light. Mira felt her breath loosen. The tension in her chest eased. The lantern flame steadied in her hand. The figure raised one hand once more, this time in a gesture of farewell. Its voice drifted across the quiet garden. "You were never in danger. The path only needed you to see it." Mira felt the words settle inside her. Not frightening, not heavy, simply true. The glowing cracks dimmed. The stones cooled beneath her feet. The bench no longer radiated unnatural warmth. The trees relaxed in the evening air. The figure stepped into the shadows. Its form dissolved fully, gone, silent, peaceful. Mira stood alone on the path. The lantern glowed softly. The night breeze brushed through the leaves. The garden felt calm again. Gentle, alive. She exhaled slowly. The fear that had gripped her faded. The pressure in the air lifted. The garden returned to its familiar quiet. Mira walked forward, her steps light, her heartbeat steady. The paths around her glimmered faintly in the moonlight. Not threatening, but guiding, soft, safe. She paused once more at the center of the garden. The bench stood quietly, still warm from the setting sun. Not from anything else. Mira smiled softly, a small, peaceful smile. For the first time that night, her shoulders eased. The garden had spoken. The paths had revealed their truth. And she understood. Peace did not always begin as calm. Sometimes it arrived after fear, after confusion, after darkness. Mira took one final look at the place she loved. The place that had frightened her. The place that now felt more familiar than ever. She walked toward the exit. The lantern light swayed beside her. The paths remained quiet behind her. Safe, respectful, at peace. And as she stepped out of the garden gate, the gentle whisper returned once more. Not fearful, not warning, only warm. Walk gently, Mira. The gate closed softly behind her. The night settled. The peaceful paths waited in silence. For morning light, and for the next person who needed to find them.